From Brian Cushing removing his helmet to headbutt an opponent's face mask.
You big fat. That's it. That's it. Look at this, ref. You hear me?
To Richard Sherman's explosive post-game rant that sparked national controversy.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're gonna get.
In this video, we're exposing 11 NFL players whose mic'd up moments crossed the line, from reckless violence to career-damaging outbursts. Brian Cushing. Let's start with a player whose mic'd up moments were about pure, reckless aggression. Brian Cushing, the Houston Texans linebacker known for being one of the most intense defensive players of his generation, crossed into genuinely dangerous territory during a game against the Cleveland Browns. The incident that shocked everyone occurred during an interception return, when Cushing removed his own helmet and delivered a full-force headbutt directly to an opposing player's helmet. He took off his only head protection and used his bare head as a weapon against hard plastic, the kind of decision that makes medical professionals cringe.
You big fat. That's it. That's it. Look at this, ref. I promise you. You hear me?
The audio captured Cushing's unfiltered rage, with profanity flowing, as he dominated opponents with alarming aggression. What made this particularly problematic wasn't just the isolated headbutt, it was the pattern showing a player who viewed personal safety as irrelevant compared to violent contact. Medical professionals condemned the behavior, noting this recklessness could cause career-ending injuries or permanent brain damage. His reputation for bloody, reckless plays became legendary, with even fellow players expressing shock at his extreme moments. The incident sparked conversations about whether the NFL was doing enough to discourage this behavior or tacitly endorsing it by allowing these clips to circulate without meaningful consequences. From physical violence to verbal warfare, our next entry took trash talking to a whole new level. Richard Sherman. If Brian Cushing's transgression was about physical violence, then Richard Sherman's most infamous mic'd up moment was about verbal violence, and it detonated into one of the most controversial sports interviews in television history. The Seattle Seahawks cornerback, already known throughout the league for his elite coverage skills and his willingness to engage in psychological warfare with opponents, took trash talking to an entirely different level following the 2013 NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. The setup was perfect for drama, bitter division rivals, a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, and Sherman defending a crucial final pass intended for wide receiver Michael Crabtree. Sherman batted the ball away, Malcolm Smith intercepted it, and the Seahawks were going to the Super Bowl. In that moment of triumph, sideline reporter Erin Andrews approached Sherman for what she surely expected to be a standard, celebratory post-play interview. What happened next became a cultural phenomenon that transcended sports entirely.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're gonna get.
The intensity in Sherman's voice was palpable, his eyes wild with adrenaline, but he wasn't finished.
Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna set it for you real quick.
The full mic'd up footage revealed additional context.
You don't try the best corner in the league in the front, especially with a mediocre receiver like Crabtree. He's weak. Hey, I'm the best to do this right now. Hey, it feels good. We worked for this. We deserve it. We in here.
The interview lasted barely 20 seconds, but its impact reverberated for weeks. Social media exploded, and the backlash was swift and often racially charged, with Sherman being called a thug by critics unable to separate his intensity from his character. Sherman's raw emotion and willingness to call out opponents created immediate controversy that sparked debates about trash talking and broader questions about race and media portrayal of athletes. The incident became one of many controversies following Sherman, establishing him as one of the NFL's most polarizing figures. But Sherman wasn't the only legend whose temper exploded on a hot mic. Even the most cerebral quarterbacks have their breaking points. Peyton Manning. When people think of Peyton Manning, they picture the cerebral quarterback, the student of the game, the polished spokesperson. What they don't always consider is the fierce volcanic temper that could erupt when things didn't meet his exacting standards. During a 2005 Monday Night Football game against the Rams, Manning and his Colts struggled in the red zone. After incomplete passes forced a field goal, Manning came off the field seething with frustration, targeting center Jeff Saturday, one of his most trusted teammates.
We threw the ball 3 times in a row and incomplete and had to kick a field goal.
We came off the field and we exchanged words of how we thought it should get done.
And Jeff comes off and says, we need to be running the ball down there.
All right, when we call pass plays, Block!
The full exchange, captured by sideline microphones, showed Manning screaming, "Quit calling the fucking plays!" with such intensity that teammates had to intervene to prevent physical confrontation. This wasn't strategic discussion. This was genuine anger, revealing the immense pressure of professional football. The moment was notable for the stark contrast with Manning's public persona. Here was a player known for meticulous preparation and professionalism, yet capable of explosive confrontation. Manning later compared being mic'd up to Desperate Housewives, suggesting awareness of the drama captured. Various compilations of Manning's intense moments showed this wasn't isolated, revealing the fierce competitiveness that made him great, but sometimes pushed him over the line. Manning's sideline meltdown showed that even legends lose control, but sometimes mic'd up moments capture something simpler: pure, unfiltered frustration. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has built a career on precision and clutch performances. He's also built a reputation for being unfiltered and willing to show emotions in ways not all athletes do. During a nationally televised 2015 Thanksgiving Day game against the Bears, Rodgers reminded everyone that underneath the talent is a human who gets frustrated. The incident occurred after a botched snap in a high-profile holiday game against a division rival. For a quarterback of Rodgers' caliber, this fundamental error was particularly galling. The hot mic caught him dropping a loud F-bomb, his frustration echoing through stadium speakers and into Thanksgiving dinner living rooms across America. The moment highlighted mic'd-up program risks. Sometimes unfiltered access captures language that isn't family-friendly. Rodgers' outburst wasn't directed at anyone specific and didn't involve physical aggression, but it reminded viewers that professional athletes, despite being role models, are humans who react to frustration in very human ways. Rodgers' inclusion is interesting given the broader context. Over the years, he's become one of the NFL's most controversial figures, involved in disputes ranging from family estrangements to misleading COVID-19 vaccination statements to public feuds and conspiracy theories. The Thanksgiving F-bomb, while minor compared to other incidents, fits this pattern of a player uninterested in conforming to carefully managed public images. The accumulation of controversies has created a complex legacy, a snapshot of someone never afraid to show emotion or push boundaries. While Rodgers' frustration was directed at nobody in particular, our next quarterback's rage was aimed squarely at the officials themselves. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has quickly become the NFL's face, a supremely talented quarterback with multiple Super Bowls and MVPs before 30. He's known for incredible arm talent, impossible plays, and generally positive attitude. But even the NFL's Golden Boy has breaking points, and a controversial 2023 officiating decision pushed him over the edge. An offsides penalty nullified what appeared to be a legitimate touchdown, and Mahomes, captured on a hot mic talking with Bills QB Josh Allen, called it the wildest call I've ever seen, his voice dripping with disbelief and anger. This moment was significant given the context. Mahomes and the Chiefs have faced persistent accusations of receiving favorable treatment from officials, with fans regularly complaining about questionable calls benefiting Kansas City. Critics have even accused Mahomes of flopping to draw penalties, fueling arguments about special treatment. So when Mahomes was caught ripping into officials for a call against his team, ironically, it added layers to debates about player-referee dynamics. The profanity-laced Rant showed a side fans don't often see: the frustrated competitor who, despite success, still feels aggrieved when things don't go his way. Mahomes has addressed these controversies, noting he's been on both sides of questionable calls, but the mic'd-up moment revealed that in the heat of competition, philosophical considerations disappear, replaced by raw emotional reactions to perceived injustices. If Mahomes' rant was about injustice, our next quarterback turned trash talking into an art form, one that sometimes went way too far. Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers was never the most talented quarterback in the NFL, never the most decorated, never the one who won championships or accumulated the most impressive statistics. But what Rivers lacked in hardware, he more than made up for in pure, unfiltered competitive fire and an absolutely legendary ability to talk trash. The longtime San Diego and Los Angeles Chargers quarterback built a reputation as perhaps the league's most prolific trash talker, a player whose mouth was as active as his arm, constantly chirping at opponents, officials, and anyone else within earshot. One particular incident perfectly encapsulates Rivers' approach to verbal warfare. After scoring a touchdown, Rivers turned what could have been a simple celebratory moment into an opportunity for some next-level trash talking. A Jaguars player extended a helping hand, presumably offering congratulations or assistance, but Rivers transformed this gesture of sportsmanship into ammunition for his relentless psychological assault. Touchdown. I will do it by your ear, he yelled, his voice dripping with contempt and competitive aggression.
90-yard touchdown! 90-yard touchdown! Hey, 17, you see I ain't talking, right? Stay humble, bro. You know he's right. Stay humble, cuz.
The audio captured Rivers in his element, transitioning seamlessly from celebration to trash talk to faux humility.
Yeah, but don't do that by my ear. Don't do it by my ear now. I will do it by my ear. I will do it by my ear. No.
The exchange showed Rivers' unique ability to push buttons while maintaining a veneer of reasonableness. Rivers' trash talking was legendary throughout the league, with countless stories documenting his ability to get under opponents' skin. His style was often misunderstood, with some perceiving his intensity as mean-spirited when Rivers viewed it as competitive. The question always came down to interpretation. Was his relentless trash-talking competitive excellence or poor sportsmanship? Rivers' 240 consecutive starts suggest his approach worked, but his lack of playoff success raises questions about whether his confrontational style helped or hurt when it mattered most. Rivers talked the talk, but our next player crossed the line from verbal warfare into actual physical violence. Andre Johnson. Some mic'd up moments are about words, trash talk, profanity, confrontational interviews. Andre Johnson's most infamous moment was about actions, about when verbal sparring escalated into physical violence. The 2010 game between the Houston Texans and Tennessee Titans featured a matchup between Johnson and cornerback Cortland Finnegan, known for getting under opponents' skin. Throughout the game, tensions built with chippy play and trash talk, escalating each quarter. Then something snapped. The verbal jousting transformed into a full-scale brawl. Johnson ripped off Finnegan's helmet and threw multiple punches.
How about an ugly finish?
Yard touchdown, 14-0. And then Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan going at each other. This is something else. Watch this, folks. Now, you talk about a fight. This is serious stuff. Texans 20, Titans 0. I've never seen a fight like that. These boys trying to hurt one another.
What made this notable was Johnson's reputation. He wasn't known as a dirty player or troublemaker. He was a consummate professional, a 7-time Pro Bowler headed to the Hall of Fame. But Finnegan had apparently crossed some invisible line that triggered a reaction Johnson probably couldn't fully explain. Both players were ejected and fined, though many players and fans sided with Johnson, viewing the fight as justified response to Finnegan's provocation. The incident sparked debates about acceptable physical play and whether fighting back against provocation becomes understandable, if not acceptable. The fight became legendary, cited in discussions of football's biggest brawls, revealing the thin line between controlled aggression and uncontrolled violence. For Johnson, it was an aberration in an otherwise exemplary career, but a reminder that even the most professional players have breaking points. Johnson's explosion was years of frustration boiling over, but sometimes a mic captures something more immediate, pure fear in real time. Blaine Gabbert. Blaine Gabbert's inclusion differs from most others. He wasn't engaging in trash talk, taunting opponents, or getting into fights. Instead, his mic'd up moment captured something more primal, pure, unfiltered fear. During his time as Jacksonville's starting quarterback, Gabbert faced harsh criticism for his perceived inability to stand in the pocket under pressure. Critics labeled him scared, questioning whether he had necessary courage for an NFL quarterback. Then came a moment confirming those worst fears.
Ja, ne, dejansko mislim, da je Brian Cushing eden izmed najmanj priljubljenih igralcev v NFL.
Ja, tudi smo videli že kar nekaj umazanih potez.
Lepo mu je povedal Blaine Gabbert, je pa tudi dejstvo, da je Cushing priletel izjemno pozno.
After scrambling out of bounds to avoid a hit from Cushing, Gabbert was caught on mic dropping a loud F-bomb that seemed to express genuine fear rather than anger. The scared label had haunted Gabbert throughout his career, with analysts questioning his mental toughness. He spent years trying to shed this perception, but the mic'd up moment seemed to undermine those efforts. What made this problematic was how it fed directly into existing narratives about his limitations. The timing and context, immediately after avoiding contact, seemed to confirm stereotypes that he was fundamentally afraid of physical aspects of playing quarterback. Gabbert eventually found a role as a capable backup, even earning a Super Bowl ring, suggesting the scared label was perhaps overly harsh. But the mic'd up moment remained a defining image from his time as a starter. From fear to swagger, our next quarterback took confidence to an entirely different level with pre-snap psychological warfare. Cam Newton. Cam Newton has always been polarizing, beloved for his confidence and charisma, criticized for perceived showboating and arrogance. His mic'd-up moments captured both sides, showing a player who loves to perform and uses personality as much as physical tools. One incident perfectly illustrated Newton's psychological warfare approach. Before a play against Green Bay and linebacker Clay Matthews, Newton engaged in pre-snap trash talk. "You've been watching film too, huh? Watch this," Newton said, essentially announcing his intention to beat Matthews.
8 touches on this drive. The only reason he didn't get it on the last play was because he was on the sidelines, but they've got him in the game now, right alongside Cam Newton.
15th play of the drive. Newton finds it. McCaffrey, touchdown. What a drive for the rookie.
He backed it up, faking a route and scoring in an athletic display that was undeniably impressive. But was it excessive showboating that disrespected opponents? Newton's career has been filled with these moments. His use of hard counts and cadences to draw opponents off sides became legendary, with one game featuring 8 offside penalties. While demonstrating strategic brilliance, it raised questions about bending rules spirit. Controversy extended beyond mic'd-up moments. His fumble during the Super Bowl, where critics questioned his effort, became a defining negative moment. His comment about female reporters sparked separate controversy, raising questions about professionalism. Newton's mic'd-up moments captured a player who viewed football as entertainment, wanting not just to win, but to win with style, to make opponents feel dominated. Whether this was effective or counterproductive remains debatable. He won MVP and reached a Super Bowl, but never won a championship. Newton made everything a show, but our final 2 entries reveal how even the greatest champions can cross lines when mic'd up. Tom Brady. Tom Brady is arguably the greatest quarterback in NFL history, a 7-time Super Bowl champion whose legacy is secure regardless of any controversies or mic'd up moments. But even the GOAT has had instances where his behavior while mic'd up revealed a less flattering side of his competitive nature. Moments when his desire to win, to dominate, to prove his superiority manifested in ways that crossed lines of sportsmanship. One such moment occurred during a game against the Buffalo Bills and their coach, Rex Ryan, who had a well-documented history of trash talking and bold predictions. Brady, caught on a hot mic, called an audible specifically designed to mock Ryan's defensive scheme, essentially announcing that he was running a play with 4 receivers against a single defender, openly trolling the coach's tactical decisions during the game itself. While this might seem like relatively minor gamesmanship compared to some of the other incidents on this list, it revealed Brady's willingness to use psychological warfare against not just players but coaches, to publicly humiliate opponents in ways that went beyond simply winning the game. It was the football equivalent of dunking on someone and then standing over them to rub it in. Technically legal, but pushing the boundaries of what's considered respectful competition. Brady's career has been marked by various controversies that have complicated his legacy. The Deflategate scandal, where he was accused of being involved in deliberately deflating footballs to gain a competitive advantage, raised questions about his willingness to bend or break rules to win. Various rule changes that seemed designed to protect quarterbacks, particularly star quarterbacks like Brady, led to accusations that the NFL was giving him special treatment. Perhaps most intriguingly, NFL Films chose not to release audio of an exchange between Brady and chief safety Tyrann Mathieu during a Super Bowl, suggesting that whatever was said crossed lines even by the standards of mic'd-up programming. The decision to withhold this audio sparked intense speculation about what Brady might have said that was deemed too inappropriate or controversial to share with the public, adding to the mystique and controversy surrounding his competitive approach. Recent controversies have continued to follow Brady even after retirement, suggesting that his willingness to push boundaries extends beyond his playing career. The Rex Ryan audible moment, while seemingly minor, fits into this larger pattern of a player whose single-minded focus on winning sometimes led him into morally or ethically questionable territory. Brady's legacy is secure despite his transgressions, but our final player learned the hard way that one mic'd-up moment can nearly cost everything. Rick Woolen. Our final entry brings us to the most recent example on this list, and one that had immediate, tangible consequences on the outcome of a championship game. Rick Woolen, a young cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks, made a crucial pass breakup during the 2026 NFC Championship game against the Los Angeles Rams. It was the kind of defensive play that players dream about making on the biggest stage, a moment that should have been purely positive for Woolen and his team. But instead of simply celebrating with his teammates, Woolen made a catastrophic catastrophic decision. He ran down the Rams' sideline, taunting players and coaches, engaging in behavior that officials had no choice but to flag. The 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty extended the Rams' drive, directly leading to a touchdown that put Seattle's championship hopes in serious jeopardy. The incident sparked intense debates about the consistency of taunting enforcement in the NFL. Analysts and fans pointed out that taunting penalties are often called inconsistently, with some players getting flagged for minor celebrations, while others seem to get away with much more egregious behavior. But in this case, Woolen's decision to deliberately run to the opposing sideline and engage in taunting left officials with little choice but to throw the flag. What made this incident particularly damning was the timing and stakes involved. This wasn't a regular season game where a penalty might be forgotten by the next week. This was the NFC Championship game, a chance to go to the Super Bowl on the line, and Woolen's moment of poor judgment nearly cost his team everything. The inconsistency in taunting enforcement was highlighted, but that provided little comfort to Seattle fans watching their team have to overcome a self-inflicted setback. After the game, which Seattle ultimately won despite Woolen's penalty, the cornerback apologized for his behavior, acknowledging that he'd let his emotions get the better of him. Reactions were split. Some praised his accountability and the team's ability to overcome the mistake, while others argued that this kind of undisciplined behavior has no place in championship-level football. The incident served as a perfect bookend to our list, showing that the temptation to go too far while mic'd up isn't confined to veteran players or particular eras of football. Even in 2026, with decades of cautionary tales and league emphasis on sportsmanship, players still make heat-of-the-moment decisions that cross lines and jeopardize their team's success, all while microphones capture every moment for the world to analyze, debate, and judge. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.